God bless you and good afternoon. Time for another edition of Make It Plain and our favorite segment every week, Thursday Coast. And we're happy as always to have been joined, as we always are, and been doing this for years now. We've lost count of the founder and publisher of dailycoast.com, which is getting some upgrades. We're going to Daily Coast 2.0, 3.0. We'll get an update on that. But our dear friend Marcos is with us, and Marcos and I were just talking about Reverend Jackson's passing, who, as many of you know, was a very dear mentor and elder and friend to me. And we just got word before going live now that Joanne Bland, a pioneer in the Selma Bloody Sunday movement, the Selma voting rights movement, has also passed away today. And I was just saying to Marcos, it gets heavy when all the people you've grown up knowing pass away. But I think, Marcos, that means we must, guys like you and I, got to step up, continue doing what we're doing until it's time for us to pass the baton.
Yeah, it's condolences because I know um, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. You were close with him, and so I know how tough that is. And yeah, I'm already into the passing it to the next generation.
I know that's like, you're like, Mark, can we do that today? I know, not die, but let me just pass it on so I can go live in Germany. Is that what you're telling me?
But I will I will say there's an energy of youth, right? That optimism and that idealism that like life kind of like sucks it out of you because you realize how tough it is, and there's value in really empowering younger generations to really like do that hard fighting. And we as a movement, I have to say, I mean, you look at like Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden, like we have Nancy Pelosi. They've all done great work, and I don't want to devalue what they've accomplished, but there comes a point where we need to be better as a movement to handing off the baton to that next generation. And people hang on too darn long, right? And it's one thing about being like a mentor. And I think like a Bernie Sanders, he's running late into his again, age. But I think he's finally transitioned to more of a elder statesman, somebody who's a mentor, and he's supporting this new generation like AOC and some of these other young progressives. I think we need more of that. I think we need to understand that there is an incredible, not just energy and idealism of youth, but also they know how to talk to these younger generations and keep us engaged. And I don't think it's an accident that Donald Trump did so well with young people, because you look over at you look over at the Democrats and it's everybody's freaking geriatric, and when you're looking at leadership, so things are better. I don't want to imply that this is Pelosi finally handing over the baton to Hakeem Jeffries, right? That was progress. We can quibble about whether we like his strategies or not, or if he's whatever. He's younger, that's like the first step. And so I would love to see that in the Senate. Like, Chuck Schumer's time, I think, it's time to pass the baton. Like, you've done your thing. And whether we appreciate it or not, it's we can say it's good time now to pass the baton to I don't know, to Jeff Merkley or to a Brian Schatz, or we have a lot of younger progressives in the Senate that I think would be great leaders. So there's value in us, in the expertise we bring to the table and the experiences we've lived, and being able to sort of ground these idealists into some basis of like, let's do this the right way. And so that's what I'm hoping to do. So you can you can keep the baton for yourself. I'm passing mine as soon as I can. But I do like being an elder statesman. I do like being somebody who people can come to for advice and counsel. And I think you're that person as well. People call you for advice, don't they?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
ready. I'm doing that now. But you're right. We've got to figure out a better way to do it. I will say this. Um, a very prominent, well-known Democratic operative who would not want me to mention her name. We were having an off-the-record conversation last night. Excuse me. This is someone who also was greatly influenced by Reverend Jackson. Was saying to me, we still everything agree with everything you're saying now, but we still have to figure out a way um, to leave our elders with dignity. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
times we discard them. And while she and all of us had vigorous disagreements with Joe Biden, you know, she said to me, Mark, you know, the things he should have done, but you don't take out an elder in that way. I said, you know, I hear that. So somewhere in the balance, I mean, but it's a two-way street. You
Yep.
know, our elders have to decide that they are going to be willing to go out like that. And let's face it, Joe had said that's what he was going to do, and he just didn't.
Yep.
Um, um, I would say this, you know, some people would say people really couldn't say that about Reverend Jackson because he everywhere he went, he was picking up one of us.
Hmm.
And I remember when I first heard him speak, I was 16 years old. No, I take it, but I first heard him speak on Sesame Street. But in person, I was 16 years old. And it was the run up to the campaign, Run Jesse Run. It was 1983. And his speech and his sermon at Shiloh Baptist Church in Washington, D.C., was about David picking up the rocks to slay the giant. Just rocks laying around. That was the call and response. Just rocks laying around. Just rocks laying around. The rocks, Marcos, were unregistered voters.
Mm.
And we need to acknowledge no individual registered more voters in history than Jesse Jackson. According to these numbers, in 1984, he registered 1 million new voters, increasing Black voter registration by 8.5% between 1980 and 1984. By the 88 campaign, he had mobilized a block of roughly 2 million new voters. So those were just rocks laying around. But the voters weren't just the rocks laying around. Those of us who were young people who were working with him and working for him and under his mentorship, we were rocks too. And he taught us.
I love
So
that. I love that. Yeah.
you know, we were laying around, and he used to say that about me. You know, Mark, you need to be focused. Mark, you need to stay in school. Mark, the movement caused me to drop out of school. Don't do that. He said, use the movement. Don't let the movement use you. You know, and so
Yeah, that's mentorship. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And from the outside, I never got the sense that he was freezing people out. And this is the problem with a lot of our electeds. They freeze people out.
Yeah.
And no, to do it right. And there's a way to do it right. Like that's the model.
Yeah. And you know, and in politics nowadays, there was so much gatekeeping. Same thing as freezing people out. So that's what we can't do. And so I appreciate that. And I'm honestly, whatever, Marcos, you're much smarter than me. And much and I don't mean this in a bad way, slightly more scientific and nerdy, slightly.
That I'll take that. I don't know about smarter, but I'll take nerdier.
I mean, I'm not far behind. Now, when I can't think of his name right now, but the guy, the scientist came to Sirius XM. He was a sex symbol. What's his name? The black guy. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now, but he was a sex symbol, total nerd. And I'm like, what is this? If I had known nerdism was sexy when I was growing up, I might have, you know.
Oh, that did not exist.
No,
that did not exist.
Am I right? When we were kids, now it's a thing. It's like a beautiful thing. Is his name Tyson? I can't think of his name right now, but he so yeah, if that was a thing, I would have been it. But I would not even be worthy to sit next to you like we do and talk politics, what I know about politics, if Reverend Jackson had not prepared me.
Mm.
If I had not been under his wing, I would not have whatever political acumen or wisdom people think I have.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have it but for him.
Mm.
So know that you have a colleague in this field. And it's funny how a friend can create another friend,
Yeah.
and that's what he did. And
Love it.
up until his dying days, he was giving out assignments. He wanted us to register more. He wanted us to continue. And as I segue, and I know you're confident about a blue tsunami, but let me just say this: Reverend Jackson was tireless, and frankly, what knowing what we did in the past and what the Democrats don't do today is still kind of scary. Because let me tell you something, Marcos. During the Jackson years, when he ran for president, and in the years leading up even to 2000, his formula was the formula. Now, it's been well worn in the media that his reform of the delegate process is what enabled Barack Obama to win the proportional allocation of delegates.
Mm.
Jesse Jackson did that. His negotiation with Mondale got the first woman on the ticket. They wouldn't pick him. He said, "Well, you got to pick a woman." He literally negotiated Geraldine Ferraro. But not only that, the formula, and this is how you trick voter suppression. Reverend Jackson never took for granted that everybody was registered, nor that everyone's registration was up to date.
Mm-hmm.
So he treated every campaign cycle. We started from scratch. Are
Mm.
you registered? Your address up to date? I mean, and he was meticulous about that. And armies of voter registrations went out when registrants went out to make sure that was taken care of. Then he did math. So Marcos Malitzas is going to run in this district. Okay, let's pull the numbers from the last election. How much did the last person who ran, win by or lose by? Now let's check that against the margin of unregistered voters. Very simple math.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you see that number of unregistered voters and check, then those are the new registrants you go out and get so you can win.
Mm.
And this consultant class don't do that.
Mm.
One, two, a lot of money. These spent money on the ground. And we heard last cycle how many African American minority voter mobilization efforts were not financed. But Reverend Jackson started that. Money went on the ground to employ that formula I just described.
Yeah.
And that was the difference. So Reverend Jackson would be right now. If he was looking at this, he would say, "Mark, you and Marcos want a blue tsunami, this is what you got to do." And he would explain it like that. We got to go in these close places, see what the margins are, and then go and find and register those voters who would offset those margins. And mind you, it was still nonpartisan. When you register somebody to vote, you can't tell them, all that. You can't. But if Jesse Jackson shows them, say you register to vote, what party you think you're gonna register? There was no question about it. So
Yeah,
that,
and you know what I love about that too, Mark, which is lost, I think, in a lot of young, sort of more contemporary progressive politics, is the practicality of it all, the pragmatism of it all, the understanding that if you want to effect any kind of change, you have to have power. It's not about throwing a temper tantrum. It's not about marching in the streets to get your feels out or to have a vibe. There's always a purpose and a function to everything that you do. And we talked about it during the campaign season, the Gaza protests, right? Like everybody targeting Kamala Harris. Like, what was the point of undermining Kamala Harris? Great, you got yourself Donald Trump. They were so happy too. A lot of that crowd was so happy because they're like, "Gaza speaking now, bitch," was like a incredibly viral tweet from one of these pro-Gaza people. Well, what's Gaza doing now that Donald Trump has basically enabled, Bibi to do whatever he wants with it? Now they're talking about turning it into a resort. Trump is still talking about ethnically cleansing the enclave. There was no purpose. And these same people, are they protesting JD Vance? Because before, we were told in 2024 that the vice president was the most powerful person influencing Gaza policy. Why is nobody protesting JD Vance, much less Donald Trump, right?
Right.
There is no strategy, no theory of how what our actions are going to do is going to affect the change that we want. In fact, it was self-defeating.
Yeah.
So Jesse Jackson never was like that.
No.
And if somebody had reason to be frustrated and angry and want to just mindlessly lash out, it's him, right?
Well, no. Hold it. Let's be specific. Barack Obama shunned Jesse Jackson. But Jesse Jackson never, ever betrayed, never told us don't support Barack Obama. To your point. So yeah, all that stuff. And by the way, let me just mention this. Since you brought up Kamala, I want to show y'all something. All the accounts and all the black men, oh, we're not gonna vote for black women. Don't vote for black women. Don't. There was no one can find a single Instagram post from either an African-American male or an African-American male bot, because that's what many of them were, saying don't vote for the white woman governor in New Jersey or Virginia. And in fact, black men voted high percentages for both. That's how you know it was all orchestrated, including I'm just putting that together with the people on Gaza. Gaza got you now. Gaza got you now. See, some of that is real fishy, because now we don't see those posts for Trump. And the Guardian just reported this morning that he's about to build a military base in Gaza. Did you hear that?
No, that's no.
Build a military base in Gaza for 3,500 to 5,000 souls.
Are you kidding me?
And if you haven't seen it, and none of the rest of you listeners seen it, why hasn't that exploded on social media? But Kamala did.
Right.
Okay, I'm through.
Right. So this is what I appreciate about there's so much to appreciate about Jesse Jackson, and that's a big one. He was pragmatic to a T, and if again, we all have reasons to be angry, want to lash out, and just want to. He never let that overcome the bigger purpose.
Yeah. That's right. No, as a matter of fact, Marcos, he had a saying, and people always have personal differences. He would say, Mark, we can't ever focus on personal ticks. We should only focus on politics.
Ooh.
I never forgot that.
Ooh, that's good.
So, and that governed my, because folks be going, I said, no, this is not, we're not going to make this personal. We've got to do what we got to do here. Yeah. So, no, I'm thankful for that. And I one more thing I'll say about Reverend Jackson, and then we'll talk about his favorite topics, but Marcos wasn't he on the show with us once? Weren't you on the show once with him? It seems like it was one time some years ago that
maybe
he was in New York or something, and he popped on Thursday Coast with us. I don't remember, but anyway, I thought that happened. But folks, whenever someone of Reverend Jackson's stature, anybody for that matter, we can all find love and togetherness and even familial love, family love, but we don't always find people who believe in us. And for all of us who Reverend Jackson mentored, he truly believed in us. And that makes all the difference in the world when someone believes in you. And by the same token, some of us, as we pay it forward, Marco's obviously trying to pay it forward today and much sooner than me, and get out of the way. He's ready to pass the baton at 12:29 Eastern. We have to demonstrate that we believe in some of the young people too, and invest in them and go forward. So I want everybody to want to emulate Reverend Jackson, do that, and register voters, check on your neighbors, make sure everyone is current. I mean, all those things in place. So Marcos Melissas, give us your data, your argument for why you anticipate going to have a blue tsunami.
Oh man, all the good data, everything points out. Hold on, I'm actually gonna pull up a presentation I just gave to a political science class at Cal.
are you able to share your screen from where you are?
Um,
I hope so. I think you are.
yeah, I think I could.
At the bottom of the screen, there's a little square button that looks like a monitor with a plus sign in the middle.
Yeah.
See,
So yeah, so let me pull this up because it was on this very topic. So oh my God, I'm gonna give this presentation twice. That's so funny.
have
Uh
added.
so let me see if this is it. Yes, here we go. All right. So I do in presentation mode. Um And then I can share the screen. Let's see. Share screen. Don't show these tips. Share screen. Allow. Huh. Why? Select the tab to share. Um.
Take your time.
Yeah. All right. So
Now you got to pick the tab you have selected is actually us. There we is that it? No,
yeah. So let
that
me.
it.
Is this tab showing?
Yeah, well, it's not showing yet. It's in backstage. You need to pick the right tab though.
Yeah. It's a Safari tab. I think that might be the problem.
That'd be it. Yeah, yeah.
So
So you
let me pull up a. All right, let me pull up the tab here.
that looks like it. Is
Yeah,
that it?
I'm logging into my.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, it's coming up. This is great. We're gonna get a full presentation, y'all.
Oh, how funny.
Okay.
Okay, use another account. Sorry. Daily goes. Okay, sign into this guy. All right,
You
is
ready?
this showing up?
So let me add it to the stage. I'm gonna add it. No, that's not right. Hold it. We did something wrong. You need do you see the tab on the bottom next to your box, right beneath the big screen? You just
Um,
away. You might need to pull it out of the group of tabs, put it in its own separate tab.
okay. I mean,
Oh,
it is on its own tab.
okay, now go back. Does it show that it's sharing?
No, oh wait, present. I see. Let's see if I can do Google Slide. Oh, it wants me to add it there, so that's not doing it. Okay.
Oh, it's a slide. I wonder why. It
Yeah.
should share your screen.
So share screen. Yeah, no, it's weird. It doesn't want to give it to me.
Mm.
All right. I'll just speak to it then. So the first slide is Republicans are going to lose, and they're going to lose big, which is very, very. I don't know. I think I got their attention pretty early. So, the first sort of kind of main point to really consider when talking about politics, and this is what makes politics so incredibly difficult from a governance standpoint, is that we have this thing called in political science we have this thing called the theory of thermostatic public opinion. Have you ever heard about this? Theory of
Sounds
thermostatic.
vaguely familiar. Sounds vaguely familiar.
So the theory posits that the public, by and large, is not ideological, right? People are walking around like I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican. We are, but most people are actually not. And so the theory says that public opinion is more like a thermostat, and it always wants a set point. So what happens is that anytime government comes in and they do anything, people hate it. But if government does nothing, they hate that too. Right? There's always a set point, right? So the example I put on a slide and I had poll numbers is that when Donald Trump was president the first time, the American public was more pro-immigrant. Then Joe Biden becomes president and he become anti-immigrant because he's not doing loudly. I mean, he was deporting people. He had people stopping people at the border, but people didn't feel like he was doing enough. So now suddenly they're anti-immigrant. Now Donald Trump is president, and people have never been more pro-immigrant because he's been so aggressively anti-immigrant to the point now where it's majority support for abolishing ICE. So you think, oh, this is great. Like now the public is anti-ICE. I guarantee you that the next Democratic president, those numbers will reverse. It'll go back to people being more pro-ICE and more anti-immigrant. So what it means is that it's incredibly difficult for anybody to govern. So, Barack Obama passes the Affordable Care Act. People are like, oh, government healthcare is socialist. Suddenly now people are in support of more government involvement in healthcare, or even the public option or single payer. As soon as you have a Democratic president, that support goes down. It's incredibly difficult to govern because of this theory of thermostatic public opinion, that you raise the temperature, you lower the temperature, people don't like it. They want to be nowhere, right? Essentially, they want to be nowhere. So it's in that context that we have this phenomenon where the party in power has lost the midterm election 90% of the time. So there had been 20 midterms since 1946. The president's party has lost 18 of them. In every case where the president has been underwater in public opinion, so under 50% approval rating, they have lost every single time. Now, of course, just because it's always happened doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. But the history here is very, very sort of established. And there are two exceptions. I don't know if you want to guess. Do you want to guess the two exceptions? What midterm elections did the party in power gain seats?
2018?
No.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The party in power. I'm sorry. The party
Yeah.
in power. I don't remember.
1998, when Bill Clinton had been impeached, and people did not like the impeachment.
Okay.
So Democrats picked up 5 seats in 1998. Okay. In 2002, right after 9/11.
Okay.
So, and the country had...
That only happened twice in history?
It's in the last 80 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this is till like FDR. So before that, politics, I think, were different, and you had more parties, and it was a bit of a mess, and you had a lot of changing parties, and they're both very, very small gains, but those are the only two exceptions. And also, these shifts and these midterm losses, they're usually big. So in 14 of those 20 elections, the party out of power gained more than 11 seats. And 7 of those times, they gained more than 40 seats. And the wave election has been more common in recent years, actually. So 2026 is shaping up to be a wave year. It's shaping up to be a 40-plus Democratic pickup year. So the elements that really come into play to really discuss how the severity of the losses of the party in power are the president's popularity. Do voters think that the country's headed in the right or wrong direction? And is there a national dynamic that could shake up these historical norms, right? Like, is there a impeachment, an unpopular impeachment, or is there a war? None of those things are really happening this time. Donald Trump is incredibly unpopular. Like, he is more unpopular now than he was his first term when he lost 40-some seats in 2018, right? So it's the same dynamics, but even worse. People think we're headed in the wrong direction at even greater numbers than in 2018. So the core sort of dynamics are looking even worse for Trump than in 2018 when he got his ass whooped. Now, Trump knows he's in trouble. I mean, this is one of the factors. How do we know? We know Trump is in trouble. In January 15, he did an interview with Reuters where he said, quote, "It's some deep psychological thing, but when you win the presidency, you don't win the midterms." So he's seeing the data. Now, his reaction to it was, quote, "When you think of it, we shouldn't even have an election," right? So he's immediately going to like, how do we stop this election, right? And you see that in what he's doing in Georgia and Fulton County. He's trying to create conditions where he can say, like, we don't need to have an election. You have him talking about how he's gonna get rid of mail-in voting. Like, he's not thinking, how do I become more popular? How do I do things that will help my party? He's thinking, how do I suppress? And in fact, there's this great story. Everybody's freaking out. He has $500 million in cash for the campaign. People are freaking out about that. Remember, Kamala Harris had $1.2 billion. Trump had $600 million. Like, money does not dictate who wins. You need a certain amount of money so people know you exist. Beyond that, and it ain't $1.2 billion, right? But what's crazy about the $400 million is they, I forget who, one of the publications asked what they were going to do with that money. And Trump is talking about going after his political enemies in his party, people who voted against the tariffs, people who voted to release the Epstein files. Wow. He's not thinking, how do I help my party win in November? He wants to settle scores. And we know that when he picks candidates, we're much better off. Like, we wouldn't have the Senate seat in Georgia if he hadn't gotten Herschel Walker to run in that race. Like, he gets the worst candidates. So, or Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania, right? Like, he is incredibly, incredibly helpful. So, there's a reason he's freaked out. I mean, the numbers are pretty clear. So last year we had the off-year elections, statewide elections in Virginia, in New Jersey. We had statewide elections for lower, for like the public commission in Georgia. If you look across the board in 2025, Democrats outperformed Trump's numbers by an average of 14 points. 14 points better.
Okay.
In Virginia, it was a 17-point swing in the Virginia governor's race. In the New Jersey governor's race, it was an 11-point shift. We won seats in Mississippi that we didn't even know were in play.
Right.
So that's happened. Now we have special elections in the last couple of weeks that have just have been mind-blowing. In Texas, and I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, Mark. Democrats picked up a state Senate seat in Texas that Trump had won by 17 points in 2024. We won it by 14.
Yeah.
That's a 31-point swing. And Republicans were like, oh, it was low turnout. No, actually, it was pretty good turnout. And what's crazy about those numbers is that 51% of voters were Republicans. This is a heavily Republican district. You don't win by 14 points by having Democratic overperformance. 51% of the voters in that special election were Republicans. The Republican got 44% of the vote.
Yeah.
That means they are abandoning the party.
That's
which
right.
That doesn't happen, Mark. That does not happen. In 2018, when we picked up seats, it's because Republicans were depressed and Democrats turned out. That was a turnout battle. And we're still going to get that this year. We're still going to get that big turnout disparity. But to have Republicans abandon the Republican Party, that does not happen. That is nuts. So a week after that, we had a Louisiana House special election. And Trump had won this seat by 13 points. In the special election, Democrats won it by 24. That's a 37-point overperformance. And then a couple of days after that, on February 10th, we had an Oklahoma House district where Trump had won the seat by 40 points. They won it by 3. That's what, another 37-point overperformance. So, Trump is seeing this, and he sees the results from last year. He's seeing special elections, and he's like, oh crap, we need to redraw the House map, right? So he kicks off this redistricting in Texas, and they pick up 5 seats. California immediately responds, and ballot initiative overwhelmingly passes. California claws back 5 seats. Now, given the numbers and the overperformance, I don't think Republicans pick up 5 seats. In fact, they may lose seats, but let's just assume that they get the 5 seats that they voted. Missouri then redistricted to pick up an extra Republican seat. North Carolina did so as well, an extra Republican seat. The court stepped in Utah. Utah had to redraw it. Democrats pick up a seat there. Indiana's not going like Trump is, putting the pressure on Indiana. Indiana's like, nah, we're not going to do that. Democrats are doing so well that if we weaken our Republican incumbents to try to carve out an extra Republican seat, this may actually come back and bite us in the ass, and we may lose seats.
Right.
So Indiana's like, no. Now it's funny. Virginia now has a ballot initiative coming on in April that would pick up an extra 3 seats for Democrats. So just right there, Democrats have actually gained 2 seats net in the redistricting battles. Colorado just said, you know what, we're gonna start the process to carve out an extra 3 Democratic seats. Won't be ready for this year because it's a ballot initiative, but they're looking at 2028 to do so as well. So Florida is the last sort of wild card. And Florida was, they're going to call a special session to redraw the districts. Ron DeSantis looks like he's getting some cold feet. Because again, if you start weakening incumbents, you may actually, in a wave election, which is what we're getting now, and it actually may cost them seats. So the irony is that Trump he sees this, he's like, oh my God, we're going to lose. He starts redrawing states, and Republicans are losing their freaking minds. And so I don't know if you've seen, Mark, but you even had Ted Cruz saying like, what Virginia's doing is wrong because, the percentages, like in Texas, it's 37% of districts are Democratic, but in Virginia, it would be like 18%. Like now we're going to argue about what percent is the right percent. No, you redrew the districts mid-decade. You broke political just basically tradition where you draw the districts once a decade after reapportionment.
Right.
Democrats outmaneuvered you, and you're going to cry about it. But even then, that's just on the margins. Like the numbers are so dramatic. I mean, these special elections where you're seeing 30-point swings, there's no way I can even dream that we're going to see that in November, right? But even a 10 to 14-point swing, which is what we saw last year, even that means that we're going to win 50 plus seats in the House and we're going to win the Senate. That's where things are going right now. And it's amazing because there's a memo, or there was a what was it? It was a presentation on Tuesday, I believe. What's today? Thursday? Might have been Monday, where some Republican pollsters did a presentation for Trump's cabinet officials. And Mark Halperin reported about this. And they were literally saying, we can't control Trump. He's going to do his own thing. He's going to say his own thing. We have to be disciplined on our message. Mark, you don't run 2 campaigns. Republicans can't run a campaign independent of Donald Trump, right? And so their message was voters, their number one thing for voters is the economy and affordability. And Trump's going around saying inflation solved and affordability is a hoax. And he cannot give that message. And Republicans can be like, oh no, we're going to do our own message. No, he's the leader of the party. He sticks his nose into everything.
Not going to work.
You have that piece. And then the second piece that was kind of fascinating about that presentation, according to Mark Halperin, is that they admitted that the immigration stuff was hurting them. That what had been a strength for them prior now is an actual liability. And that's big because Trump can't back off of that.
Right.
They doubled down. And maybe this is why the administration's trying to we're withdrawing from Minnesota while leaving people in Minnesota, right? They're trying to pretend that they're de-escalating while not doing so because they know it is hurting them. So there's nothing. Trump can't talk about the economy. All he can do the same thing Joe Biden did, and it was a mistake, and talk about how great it is. Wow. He just had was it yesterday, talking about this was the best economy in the history of the world, and it's not even close.
My goodness.
In that presentation that Mark Halperin reported on, they said that we should not be talking about a great economy because people don't feel it.
Yeah.
So their data people know that what Trump is doing, talking about immigration, talking about how great everything is literally depressing his base. And that's not even getting into Epstein.
Mm,
Epstein's taking a hit.
yeah.
Epstein is absolutely hurting him now. And so his
And
numbers.
and pause. You probably need to take a breath anyway, because I know you're dealing with your allergies. Hear it. Y'all, the people in Britain. Are you ready for this, Marcos? You're not sitting down. You might want to sit down for this one. The commentators on news in Britain are saying that the arrest of Prince Andrew this morning around Epstein proves that there's more accountability in the British monarchy
Yep.
than it is in the White House. I don't even think when I saw the news, I went to the BBC because this other legacy media is tripping anyway. Went straight to the BBC, and that's all they were saying. They were saying the DOJ can't do anything to Donald Trump. I mean, it's like they were almost working for us, Marcos. Like somebody sent a memo to the British press this morning, link this to Trump's situation. And that was on. It was like everybody was reading from that same sheet of music.
Yep.
And they were even also using it, but honestly, to make the case that the monarchy shouldn't be abolished because it can be held accountable.
Mm.
They were getting two bites of the apple, and I was like, "Whoa!" Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. That
No, that was great.
I mean, they beheaded King Charles I, right? That's the last time anything
Mhm.
like this might have even happened. And I'm not Andrew's not gonna get beheaded, of course, but you go. That ain't happening. What 3,000-4,000 years? I don't know. But okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time in right wing forums and QAnon forums and 4chan, and I mean, none of them they're not gonna vote Democratic, but a lot of them are saying, I thought he was gonna drain the swamp and he was gonna hold the pedos accountable, but now Trump is a pedo, and I'm tapping out. I'm not voting.
That's right.
Good,
Tapping out.
good,
Good.
good, good.
Thank you.
Like you that
Yeah.
damn dumb, you don't need to be voting. And so Axios reported this morning that Republican strategists are realizing they were talking about a enthusiasm gap between Democrats and Republican voters. And I mean, it doesn't matter where you look, Mark. You're looking at blowout numbers in November. So I don't even. Everybody's like, "Oh, what should be the Democratic message?" I mean, the Democratic message is a Mandami message, right? Like we got to make things more affordable. We got to have that. Mark, it don't matter. Our message could be Teletubbies. It could literally be like, and it does not matter because nothing matters other than fury. There is so much fury at this administration on so many different ways, and Trump can't get away from it. He can't go on the road and talk about affordability because he's going to go off on his grievances and talk about Iceland, Greenland, and how everything should be named after him. And like he cannot focus on the things that people care about. And it's now really having an impact. And the Republican Party can't quit him. They can't. Now it's too late, but they can't quit him. Mark, you're muted.
I hear what you're saying, but let me just throw this out there because I've been in some calls this week. There concerns people. Some progressives have been all over Hakeem Jeffries and Democratic leadership for not saying they agree in abolishing ICE and how that might hurt us. So let me ask you that question. Everything you said, I agree with, but if we do Teletubbies but are silent, that is Democratic leadership, on abolishing ICE, do we still have the same outcome?
I literally think none of that matters right now. None of that matters in the context of winning the election in November. Now, we want our leaders from a moral standpoint to start setting some markers, and we're going to want them to hold ICE accountable, and they'll have the power of the purse, come November, and they're going to have the power of investigations. So you have to start laying that foundation, but that's on the governance side, and on the campaign side, I mean, Mark, are you not going to vote if they say nothing, as opposed to like I'm voting no matter what. Like like it does not matter. And I think people are that angry and frustrated. And I will say that the vast majority of people only care about the economy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope you're right, because, but as before, you get the algorithm elevates these trolls. Don't vote for Democrats because they won't abolish ICE. Don't vote for Democrats because they won't defund the police. Even so, I just want to keep that variable out there, because, like I said, we don't know what it just happens.
Yeah,
but it's dead quiet in sometimes. But then all of a sudden, when it's on us, oh, Kamala Harris and Gaza and
yeah.
ICE. And see, they, I mean, that's his apparatus. So he's going to mobilize his friends to do the troll thing. I saw a headline the other day. I should have saved it. I didn't get to read it. Republicans want to engage in more voter suppression, knowing they're in trouble for the midterms. So again, folks, Rem Jackson, don't take Marcos is right, but let's be double right. Let's be triple right. We still must do our due diligence.
Yeah, no, we got to do our job. We have to. The problem again is that in 2020, whatever, we're gonna pick up a lot of seats this November. We want to maximize as much as possible. We're going to lose a lot of those back in 2028. I mean, it's just, we're going to win seats that we have no business holding. And
why are we going to lose him if he's still in office going crazy?
Well, I mean, maybe we don't. Maybe we look ahead to 2030 and we have 2 years of big Democratic majorities to get DC statehood and Puerto Rico statehood and all those good things that we want to happen. I
asked somebody in Puerto Rico about the other day, after Bad Bunny's performance, let's push for statehood, and their position is still let the people decide.
Oh yeah.
But it's been on the ballot 2 or 3 times and it's split. Y'all got to get together.
But it's split because it never mattered though. They were like basically there were polls, like there was no force behind it. If Congress passed a law and said Puerto Rico, you get statehood if you vote for it, now it matters.
But they really don't need that. That it's it is already precedent that if a territory votes for statehood, and it's called a Tennessee plan. That's how Tennessee became a state. And I'm not just saying that because I grew up in Tennessee. That's just what it's called. It just happens. I mean, to be truthful, I don't even think they really need a congressional thing. But what happens?
It would pass. It would pass. I mean, I think we do it. Given the island's history of colonialism, I think the right thing to do is you ask a real.
No, but this is what happens. The past ones they've had in the past, and I watched them all very closely. There were 3 items on the ballot: territory, statehood, independence, and they split. In statehood and independence, always won combined, the majority, but a plurality. There was like 50-50 between the two, and so to me, I'm just saying, if you're gonna put something on the ballot, y'all got to really decide.
Yeah.
And either statehood, independence, and some independence. Some folk want to be a country. So they've got.
Although independence is very tiny. That's never had a lot of support. I mean,
in some polls, Marcos, it was 50-50. Literally
between Commonwealth, the referendi, it was between Commonwealth and statehood are the two. Because Commonwealth,
there were 3. There was
still I know, but statehood but independence has never gotten a lot of support. It's always been a very minority support. Commonwealth is good because you get U.S. citizenship and you get a lot of funding, but you don't have to pay federal taxes. So that's always been the attraction. But it changed after the last hurricane. It changed. That's where statehood really shot up, because you realized that being in this netherworld of like being a territory but not state really cost them a lot of like FEMA aid and reconstruction aid, and that really changed opinion. I think it passes a real referendum where they say yes or no to statehood, nothing else. Yes, no.
That's what we're saying the same thing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That passes easy.
Let's not have 3 or 4 choices.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's make it clear. Statehood, yes or no, boom, and it's a wrap.
Yep.
and then it's a wrap for them. It's a wrap for the Senate. If
Mhm.
DC gets it, by the way, Reverend Jackson, the first elected shadow senator under the statehood plan in Washington D.C.
Mm.
After the Tennessee plan in 1700s, every state elected shadow senators and a congressperson to lobby for
Yeah.
statehood. Working for everyone else, why not let it work for DC and Puerto Rico? We're a little bit over time. This is fascinating. And folks, let me just say this. We'll just call this a tease. What we'll try to do next time is get Marcos' slides up so you can see them. That's fascinating and very encouraging numbers. Because again, I was talking to some people the other day that said we would toast because Hakeem won't abolish ICE.
Oh God, nobody cares. I
And
mean,
but I'll be honest with you, these some of the folks who were that I was talking to, but the folk who started it were kind of on that Gaza piece too before.
yeah.
Um,
Nobody cares what Hakeem Jeffries thinks or doesn't think. Like it's not a thing. We
well,
care. We care because we're trying to actually we want a party that'll govern and do things we wanted. The public, they remember this is the same public that thought that Trump could literally lower prices on day one. They believed him. He
yeah,
had
and
no
that's
plan.
yeah,
There's no rational mechanism that he can make that happen. He
yeah,
didn't even try to come up with say like this is how I'm gonna. He just said he was gonna do it. It's gonna be easy. He always says that, right? Easy. I'm gonna peace in Ukraine. It'll be easy. I'll do it within 24 hours. Lower
yeah,
prices day one. People believe it because they don't. So this Hakeem Jeffries said this thing and then Schumer said that and nobody. They don't even care what Trump says. They don't believe what he says is real.
and that refers us back. Give us the first term you gave us, the temperature. Tell us that again.
The thermostatic, the theory of thermostatic public opinion, that it's just vibes. It's a thermostat. Too hot, too cold. They like it just even. It's vibes.
The thermostat of public. Is that the same as saying the swinging pendulum?
Yeah.
So what
Because the
y'all see what I just did? I just proved I'm not quite as nerdy. He's a little more nerdy than me. He's the thermostat and I'm the pendulum.
exactly. I'll throw in a little bit of political science in there. And then Mark will actually make it more understandable to everybody. But
Make it plain.
it's literally a pendulum. And this is where I even think like with the ICE thing, it's why turn people off who may support ICE? I mean, still right now, ICE has 46% support. Trump is at 34. So why give people a reason to say like, oh man, I do like ICE. I'm going to support Republicans. Hakeem's is actually doing a smart thing by just saying like, let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
Because
maybe. Yeah.
and
But
we don't.
But I'm just telling y'all that's what's coming. That's what the folks that they trying to do.
Yeah. And so what? They're gonna support the party that's pro ICE and pro abuses and pro fascism because Hakeem is not sufficiently anti ICE enough publicly.
Right.
Do we? I mean, is there any doubt that the Democrats would slash ICE funding? None.
Right. They will.
Of course they will, and they're gonna hold hearings, and they're gonna hold the murderers who killed Good and killed Preddy. Predit, Preddy, yeah, and have committed endless violations of people's rights. I think Democrats are going to hold those people accountable.
Right. As always, my friend, it's a pleasure. I want to thank Carolyn Fay, an old and dear friend of mine, not an old person, but an old friend. She got the name Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's who I was trying to think of.
Oh,
Carolyn, how you?
Wait, sex symbol?
Yeah, why you jump on that? Is he a sex symbol to you, Carolyn? Is that why you jump on the thing? No, you don't know that dude. People love that dude.
Oh no, I mean I see it.
He came in the studio, and I didn't even exist anymore. Ooh, and I didn't know people felt like. I'm saying your guest is fine. That's Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's fine. People come down taking selfies. Diverse women, all kind of every woman. I'm like, wait a minute, what? What? He's sexy. Yeah, he's a nerd. That's in now.
I totally see it.
I'd be doggone if I'd known that. I might have done something different with my life. Okay.
So, hey, Mark, before we just really quickly, I have a new podcast. I'm back to
Yes,
podcasting.
Good, good.
It's called Room Temperature, and so it's. I just posted today. We posted our inaugural podcast. So it's me and my good friend Janesh Ralan, who's a stand-up comic. We met literally um, at one of his shows, and turns out he was a big Daily Kos fan, and we like hit it off. And for the last 2 years, we've been threatening to do a podcast, and we're finally doing it.
That's good.
He's an incredibly funny guy, and basically the podcast is me sort of teeing up really mostly Republican doing and saying really stupid things, and then him riffing on it hilariously. It's a super funny it's a funny podcast. It's not my usual fare. I try to ground it in my usual data and facts, and but he like riffs on it, and it's really the Roland Janesh Roland show.
That's good. That's good.
And it's really really fun. So check it out in your favorite podcast platforms. It's Room Temp, and it's me, Marcus Malitzis, with Janesh Roland, and yeah, check it out.
Congratulations, my friend. We look forward to hearing it. Folks, we look forward to you joining us next time on Thursday Coast. I'll be headed to Chicago over the weekend. The
nice. Oh, not for that.
Yeah, the services for Reverend Jackson taking place toward the end of next week. So please keep his family in your prayers. Well, folks, we lost a real one.
Yep.
A lot of what we know and what we've done and what we've accomplished would not have happened without Reverend Jesse Jackson. So God bless you all. If all hearts and minds are clear, this has been Thursday Coast, and it has been made plain.
Thank you so much.